Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss different modes of intervention. As we have talked about prevention many times, but nobody tells you how exactly to do the prevention. So, this modes of intervention is nothing but how exactly we are going to do the prevention. First, we will see what exactly is intervention. So, intervention is nothing but to interrupt or intervene the usual sequence in the development of the disease. That is, actions through which interrupting or blocking the progress of a disease. Broadly, these modes of interventions are categorized in 5 modes. First, health promotion. Second, specific protection. Third, early diagnosis and adequate treatment. Fourth, disability limitation. And fifth, rehabilitation. So, we will see first health promotion. As the name suggests, it is not directed against any disease but for strengthening of the host. That means for human health. Health promotion is enabling people to increase the control over diseases and improve their health through different ways. म्हणजेच आपले आरोग्य सुदृढ आणि सशक्त बनवणे. For health promotion, 4 things or interventions are required. First is health education. It is most essential and basic step for health promotion. If you know how diseases occurs and how to prevent them and keep yourself healthy, that is the best. Importantly, it is less expensive and most beneficial step. Health education is required to be done differently at a different level for community, to health workers, to policymakers, to patients. The different type of health education is being required. Second, environmental modification. For better or positive health, proper environment is must. Here, interventions like proper housing, proper ventilation, safe drinking water, waste management, sanitation, pollution control, etc. can be done. Third, nutritional intervention. For good health, well-balanced diet is being required. The quality of food is equals to the quality of your health. Here, interventions like prudent diet, midday meal programs, nutrition for pregnant women, nutrition for children can be done for nutritional interventions. Fourth, lifestyle and behavioral changes. One of the most important factor which affects your health is lifestyle and behavior. So, positive or right lifestyle will make you much healthy, while opposite or wrong lifestyle will make health worse. In this intervention, you need to do stopping of addictions like tobacco, alcohol, and going towards good eating and healthy habits, positive attitude. All these kinds of intervention comes under lifestyle and behavioral changes. So that's all about health promotion. So to promote or make a better health, we need to do these 4 types of interventions. We'll move forward. Second, that is specific protection. This specific protection is directed against specific type of diseases. That's why the name is called as specific protection. In this specific protection, we are going to take measures specifically against the decided type of diseases. In this, first is immunization or vaccination. Vaccination for different types of diseases is being done, just like in our national immunization schedule. We are being seen BCG vaccine for tuberculosis, DPT for diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus, MMR for measles, mumps and rubella. Then second, use of specific nutrients. There are many number of diseases which are being resulting due to either lack or excess of nutrition, and for such a kind of diseases we need to choose a specific type of nutrient to be protected from such a kind of diseases. Third, chemoprophylaxis. Chemoprophylaxis means use of drugs or medicines for prevention of a specific type of disease. Just like in malaria, you can use chloroquine. Similarly, in homeopathy, just like chemoprophylaxis, we are having a concept of genus epidemicus. Right now we are witnessing a COVID-19 pandemic, and we are being seen that our CCRH has guided us use of genus epidemicus like Arsenicum album, and which is being helping lot number of people for avoiding getting infection from COVID-19. Next, protection against occupational hazards. Many occupations are being resulting into different types of health diseases or hazards, and from them we need to do protective measures. Simple example is use of helmets in industries, use of gloves for chemical industries, then use of goggles where you are being using radiation. Then so these are the type of things what we can do for occupational hazards. Next is avoidance of allergens. Allergy nowadays is very common, and the allergens are increasing day by day. So we are being getting much more sensitized to number of different things, and that need to be changed. One of the most important thing for getting protected from such a kind of allergens is avoidance, or to be away from such a kind of allergens. So it can be a dust allergy, it can be some of the chemical, it can be some of the fumes, some of the gases which are being causing allergic diseases like urticaria, rhinitis. And if you want to get protected, initially it is being very much essential to avoid such a kind of contact with an allergen. Next, control of specific hazards in general environment. In general environment, it is what we are being witnessing is lot of pollution which is being coming up. Air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, all these kinds of environmental hazards are creating lot of trouble and resulting into number of different types of diseases. As we are being seen, heavy pollution in Delhi is being resulting in various kinds of asthmatic problem or COPD like problems. Next is control of consumer products quality and safety. This is one of the very important aspect, as nowadays we are being seen everything is being ready made, and all these kinds of number of different types of products which are being coming in the market, and this quality need to be checked and safety need to be checked for all such kind of things. We have been recently witnessed the Maggi having excess amount of lead, and which is being causing problem to the health of the children. So that is the thing what we need to do now. Next, third mode of intervention, that is early diagnosis and treatment. Though it is not as effective or economical like that of first two intervention, which are called as primary intervention, primary prevention, which are a part of primary prevention, but still it is having lot of utility by making early diagnosis and treatment. Early detection and treatment are main intervention for control of disease. Besides being critically important in reducing the morbidity and mortality in certain diseases like hypertension, cancer like diseases. For this, as we are being seen, it is having two important aspects. First is early diagnosis. So we'll see what exactly is this early diagnosis. Early diagnosis means the detection of disturbances of homeostatic and compensatory mechanism, while biochemical, morphological and functional changes are still reversible. So we need to detect at very early stage of development of disease. That is the thing what we need to understand. In the early pathogenesis phase, as we have studied in the second year, reversible and irreversible pathology. If you detect the disease in the reversible stage of pathology, you can recover it completely 100% and permanent cure will be achieved. So this mode of intervention having a utility in number of different areas. First, it is being very much essential for early and complete recovery. Second, it is being essential for better prognosis. Third, it is being important for prevention of complication. Fourth, it is being also important especially in infectious or communicable type of diseases for preventing number of transmission, mode of transmission is being getting reduced. An adequate treatment is giving proper treatment for the properly diagnosed disease. So that is the thing what we are being seen, early diagnosis and treatment. Next is disability limitation. Here we need to understand how the diseases are being developed. As we have studied in the natural history of disease, so development of disease leads to an impairment. Impairment leads to the disability, and disability later on leads to the handicap. So here, as the name is being suggesting, we need to limit the disability. For better understanding of this concept, we need to understand the developmental phases of disease to the disability and handicap. So we'll see first impairment. Impairment is nothing but any loss or abnormality of psychological, physiological or anatomical structure or function. For example, loss of hand, so anatomical abnormality. Second, excess bilirubin, as we called it as a jaundice, physiological, functional abnormality, and anxiety disorder, you can say psychological abnormality, that is impairment. Second, disability, lack of ability to perform an activity in the manner or within the range normal for a human being. Example, if the person is unable to write or eat as he has lost his hand, so that is a disability caused because of a disease or impairment. Next stage in the disease, that is after disability, that is handicap. Handicap is a disadvantage due to the disability that limits or prevents fulfillment of the role in community for that individual. So we'll try to understand this concept of impairment, disability and handicap by a simple example of accident, road traffic accident, RTA. So you can take some person has been met an accident, that is what we can call as disease, where the impairment was loss of foot. वो एक्सीडेंट में उसका पैर चला गया, so loss of foot is an impairment, and because of that impairment he develops a disability, that is he is unable to walk. As he has lost his foot, now he is unable to walk. So disability, he is unable to walk, while because of this inability to walk he becomes handicapped. What happened? Because he is unable to walk, he lost his job. So he is unable to fulfill his role in the community by losing his job. So that is the way we are being seen that disability and handicap is affecting people's life severely, and that's why we need to see in the development of disease, we need to understand the importance of limiting the disability. If the person has been developed stroke and he is being initial stage of paralysis, we need to reduce that disability to the earliest stage so that we can it cannot progress further for complete paralysis of the body. Last point is rehabilitation. Rehabilitation has been defined as the combined and coordinated use of medical, social, educational and vocational measures for training and retraining of individuals to the highest possible level of its functional ability. In short, rehabilitation means पुनर्स्थापित करना. So there are many number of different examples of rehabilitation centers. We many times hears about it. No? So mental retardation rehabilitation center, blindness rehabilitation center, leprosy rehabilitation center. So such a kind of number of different rehabilitation centers are being there. We'll try to understand what exactly is this rehabilitation and what are the different areas of this rehabilitation. There are basically 4 important areas which are being seen in rehabilitation. Nowadays it becomes a specialized branch of the medical science. Rehabilitation is being very important issue nowadays. So we'll see first medical rehabilitation. It requires the combination and coordinated use of all these kinds of measure, so that we can rehabilitate that patient and bring him back to the productive people. One of the most important aim or objective of doing rehabilitation is we want to increase number of productive people. We don't want the loss of dailies because of such a kind of disease or disability or handicap. So first, medical rehabilitation. Medical rehabilitation means providing a medical care, treatment, just like physiotherapy, no? Or take a simple example, in cerebral palsy you can do a reconstructive surgery, and medical treatment for number of different types of diseases. Then social rehabilitation, which includes family and social support needed for that patient. It is being one of the important aspect in rehabilitation. Family support is being very important for improvement as well as correction of these kinds of issues, as we are being seen in treatment of cancer, treatment of paralysis. Family support is one of the most important. There are a number of different types of organizations, NGOs which are being working, which are being giving social support for such a kind of rehabilitations. Next, that is psychological rehabilitation. Here we need to educate them about how to live better life with such a kind of disablement or handicap states without losing the dignity and self-confidence. That is the thing what we need to do in psychological rehabilitation. We need to boost their mental strength. We need to improve their self-confidence, because many times they goes in depression, resulting into those sad outputs and all these kinds of things. So that need to be prevented by giving a psychological rehabilitation through counseling and other different means. Fourth area, that is vocational rehabilitation. It is one of the very important aspect along with the psychological, social and medical care. Here what we need to do, we need to train that person for vocational training. He should be able to earn his livelihood. Vocational rehabilitation's main aim is to make him a productive person, so that he should be able to earn his livelihood, which would make him independent and self-reliant, and which will give him boost his self-confidence as well as make him better quality of life. That is the thing what we need to achieve in such a kind of disabled state. So that's all about today's lecture. Best of luck to all of you. Thank you.